Ciao Vez! Benvenuto in questo nuovo video e questa volta voglio portare un nuovo format. Ho deciso, dato che mi piacciono un po' queste interviste con gli attori che sto portando, l'ultima infatti è quella con Loris Loddy che ti lascio qui, ma non sarà l'ultima e neanche l'unica perché nei prossimi video usciranno altre interviste. Ho pensato, come posso fare a intervistare degli attori internazionali? Ovviamente adesso non posso, speriamo magari un giorno. Allora ho deciso di tradurre, sì, esatto, mi sono messo lì con i sottotitoli, li ho tradotti e li ho messi sotto il video. Le interviste fatte ai grandi attori. Oggi infatti ti porto un'intervista di Bryan Cranston, spero ti piaccia, e per supportare magari tutto questo lavoro lasciami un like qui sotto, iscriviti al canale e attiva la campanella. Ma ora bando alle ciance e passiamo all'intervista.
I was thinking about you today, obviously very excited that you were going to come in and talk, because every time I talk to you it's a joy, but there was this quote that I came across that really resonates with me, and I'm sure you've heard it, but it's Aaron Paul. And he said that you're one of the most professional people he's ever worked with, but you're also the most immature person he's ever worked with. And I thought, there is something about you that beautifully is able to contain both. And I believe that. I like to think that I'm professional. I'm also a complete fool. And somehow I think it's possible to contain the two at the same time. Is that making sense to you?
I think so. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think you can be sincere and have the things you want to set up in your life and enjoy it. Don't take it too seriously. Don't feel you're entitled to anything. You're very lucky, and I think if you flow with that, you get a chance to have fun and goof around. But I think I think it depends on how you were raised and the principles that you stand by, I really do. I think it's, I tell actors all the time, get your personal life in order. If you really want to be an actor, you have to get your personal life in order so that you don't flake out. If you get your first job and you have a nice big paycheck, don't go blow it on something. Put it away so that the more
it will sustain you.
So the longer you can be an actor. And make a living at it.
That's so fascinating, because I think there are probably a lot of young actors out there that think the other way. They think, there are people that think, in order to be a great artist, I must act like a maniac because the tail wags the dog. Well, it doesn't.
No.
You just need to be good at what you do, at your craft. You need to keep it together. But I think there are a lot of people that don't think that way. You know what I mean? That think, I'm in my 20s, I'm starting to make some money, gravity is starting to lift, everyone's treating me really nicely, it's time to fuck up.
Well, it's like, especially with men. Men are just boys that can shave. Because,
wow, you really...
I'm going to take that one on the road.
Yeah, you really got to Sona on that one. Sona, how's the marriage?
It's great. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's true because we're very we're stimulated physically. We see a car. Oh my God! Look at that car.
Yeah.
We see a beautiful person, male or female. Is oh wow! Look at that. Look at these things. Look at the gadgets. And we sometimes act upon it. We look as a boy. Oh, I want that chocolate. I want that thing. And as men, you have to look at it and go, I want that chocolate, but if I grab that chocolate, I'm going to feel such and such after. I want that woman, but I am married and I need to not do that. You have to think of consequences behind every decision. That's basically the difference between a man and a boy.
Yeah. It's funny because it feels, I know that I've known Bob Odenkirk forever, and he gives you a lot of credit for helping him when he was starting out in his role on Breaking Bad. And he said that you were very good at telling him, you gotta know your lines, you gotta hit your mark, you gotta do the work beforehand. And that was your introduction to acting for him, was you gotta get your shit together before you go out there. And it's, I've heard all kinds of stories over the years in this business, mostly behind the scenes, about very well-known actors that don't do that. They don't know their lines.
You'd be surprised.
Yes, and they're hanging out in their trailer for a while and not they're not just doing the work. And I think one of the times that we spoke, you had so much pride in the fact that you've been a working actor really your entire life, for the most part of your life, and that you have, and it's such a nice way to break it down, because we can all get existential about our career or where are we now. You're working, you're making things, you're paying your mortgage. It's a great way to, I think, kind of simplify it.
Well, look, if you're lucky enough to be in a business that you love to do, a creative one, and you make a living, I don't want to hear a complaint out of you.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear that you have to be here at 6 o'clock in the morning. We're acting. Look at us. So every job that I work on, where I lead the cast, I try to set that example so that I don't want to hear any complaints from anyone. There's enough artistic frustration within. A joke's not landing. This is not working. We need to recast because this didn't work out, or there's enough problems to deal with. You should not be dealing with any kind of problems of I don't want to be here that early, or how late do we have to stay, or some actors who don't want to be off camera for another actor. It's like I started that when I was really young. Jennifer O'Neill. Do you remember Jennifer O'Neill?
Sure.
Summer of 42. Beautiful, beautiful woman. And I was a guest star on a show that she did called Cover Up. Was it Cover Up? I think it was. And I had this big emotional scene. It was the denouement. It was here's what happened, and here's why it happened, and how it happened. And it's with her. And we came back from lunch, and the director said, Jennifer is still having lunch with someone in the commissary, so we'll just do your side of it now with the script supervisor reading it off camera. Right. And I said, this is a big scene. I wouldn't mind if it was just a couple little lines and not a big deal, not an emotional thing. But this is a big deal, so I don't think so. I don't think we should do that. Yeah. Wow. And they said, excuse me? I said, no, I think we should wait for her then, don't you think? And they said, well, I don't know if we should. And I said, no, I think it's important enough to wait for her to get this right. And so they had to wait for her.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that you had, again, this is a testament to you're very young at this point. You haven't made it.
No. I was 27.
You're not Bryan Cranston yet.
No.
You're an early form of Bryan Cranston. You're the beta. And and to say that, because I haven't done much work in that world, but what little I've done, it's immediately clear that they shoot you in your scene where you're yelling at me, and then they turn around and they shoot me getting yelled at by you, and if you're out for that scene and they're just hanging a tennis ball there and saying, pretend the tennis ball is Bryan, it's very hard to do your thing.
Not really, because that tennis ball probably gives you as much emotion as I would give you.
And as much respect. I practiced this whole interview with a tennis ball.
And it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we're not speaking anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. The
tennis ball is filing a complaint.
Canceled by a tennis ball. Right. That would be the lowest.
Avete visto, sì, comunque quanta umiltà da parte del buon Bryan. È amico mio ormai, Bryan. Comunque, avete sentito quante cose vere che dice? Cioè, anche le cose assurde tipo, no, adesso provi una scena emotiva, non faccio venire l'attrice, la provi con una supervisor. Lui ha avuto le palle di dire, no, questa è una scena difficile e voglio farla con lei. Cioè che dovrebbe essere la normalità, ma invece tante volte in questo mondo, vedi, sembra che fai un favore all'altro attore se sei lì presente a fare il tuo mestiere. Mi dico, come siamo arrivati a questo? Magari anche come diceva Loris, no, nell'intervista, una volta si puntava alla qualità, una volta si voleva lavorare tutti insieme per la qualità, adesso invece non gliene frega più niente, sembra, no? Facciamo, buttiamo dentro, facciamo un sacco di cose, facciamole velocemente, facciamole male. Tutto questo per avere tanti prodotti con una qualità che ormai, ahimè, sta andando un po'... Un'altra cosa super interessante poi che ha detto: non sentitevi mai come attori che siete arrivati, non lamentatevi se dovete andare sul set alle 6 del mattino. Ormai sembra davvero che se tu sei la star nazionale, la star internazionale, niente, tu sei trattato come un dio in terra e sei un privilegiato, non puoi... Questo che mi è piaciuto un sacco dalla sua intervista, che lui, lo dicono anche i suoi colleghi, è un matto che comunque dà l'esempio, cioè c'è da essere professionali quando c'è da essere professionali, ma è anche uno che scherza, fa battute sul set, però quando è il momento di farle. Quindi direi che il grande Bryan Cranston ci dà una grande lezione sia di umiltà che di professionalità. Speriamo un giorno di riuscire a fare quello che ha fatto lui. Se sei arrivato fin qui, Vez, ti ricordo ancora una volta di mettere un bel like, iscriverti al canale e attivare la campanella, così rimani sempre aggiornato sulle notifiche e a me fa piacere, così vedo che non è lavoro buttato. Detto questo, noi ci vediamo come sempre a un prossimo video!